Hopefully. We're going to have like, the actual name of the award and then the actual recipient. So it's not. Are you clicking it? We can. Okay, yeah. Okay. Can you do it remotely? No, it hasn't. So whenever we announce the award, you'll see the name of the award and then so it's not you're waiting for a second. So where do we click? You can hit the arrow or you can use the mouse and this button right here. That just do there. Okay, look. We're gonna be seeing
we have a slideshow?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So you've got so each one has
this is your next slide, so if you hit the arrow button, the right arrow.
Okay, I'm impressed. Kudos to you. Wow.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, you hired some good people. Huh?
Do we have everybody in here?
We're actually going to remarkably start on time.
And I can say hi just in case.
Yes, you can be.
I'm going to see if there's just.
That's pretty snappy.
Like after this here. Don't start out. Just make it beautiful.
Well, good afternoon. Am I on? Can you hear me okay? Good afternoon. I want to thank all of you for coming to the first annual College of Education and Health Professions Award Ceremony. We're really excited. You know that we're a new college as of July 1 of last year. So this is our inaugural class, and this is our initial ceremony to celebrate what we've accomplished through this past year. I want to recognize a few people because, and I'm blind, and so, or elderly one, so I have to put on my reading glasses to do this. But the college put together several very key committees, and one of them was the committee that helped deal with the awards. And I would like to recognize those committee members because they really went above and beyond looking at what needed to be done and who we needed to recognize. And we have some very unique awards that we're going to be presenting today. So I'd first of all I'd like to have you stand as I call your name, but I want to give special recognition to Dr. Catherine Chris because she was the chair of this committee. She's done an outstanding job. She and I came up with some rather unique ways of congratulating people and surprising people, so I appreciate that. Nita Copeland, Bill Gardner, Rochelle Hastings, back in the back, Lisa Palacios, Benny Prince, Greg Robinson, and Ann Robinson. So thank y'all so much for all your hard work. I want to thank Dr. Toro for joining us for this event. We also have two members of our advisory board, which is who have come today, and that is Bonnie Lindbergh. Bonnie, you want to stand up? And Lee Gentry. So please welcome them and thank them for their service. So today is a day in which we celebrate accomplishments, and I've been very fortunate this year to have worked with very gifted faculty who give of themselves on a daily basis and who really excel in teaching, service, and research. And so we're honoring those individuals today. We are also honoring a very important staff member in our college, and you, our wonderful students, and our wonderful friends, because UALR exists and flourishes because of the friends we have in our community. And you make a difference in our lives, you make a difference in the lives of our students, and you impact our community in a positive way because of the way you've interfaced with our college. And we very much appreciate you and really thank you for letting us thank you. So we're going to move on to our awards, and I'm going to be Click and she's going to be Clack in terms of, you have to do public radio to really understand that, but Catherine and I are going to start with the overview of the awards.
Good afternoon. I just want to welcome everyone. Been looking forward to this day for a long time. In some ways, I'm actually more excited about this day than graduation because in my case, I've got a student from social work that we're going to be recognizing, and I still get to spend a couple of weeks with her in a classroom as opposed to having to say goodbye to her. What I want to do is just give you a brief overview of the awards process, and that's not really to bore you. It's actually so that you can understand how truly extraordinary the individuals being recognized here are today. But before doing that, I really want to thank Dean Bain, and particularly, I don't know where Terry is, she's actually in the back. The Dean's assistant, Terry, stand up. She didn't know I was going to do this, but Terry's got an extraordinary eye for detail, and she and I have communicated by cell phone, text, and email, and all sorts of things, and she's really the one that's responsible for the beautiful reception and for some of the details that came together. And also want to thank the Dean for kind of being open to some of the wild and wacky ideas that the committee had and for working with us around the snow days. So to tell you a little bit about all of the awards, basically, for the student awards, actually, each department was asked to nominate an outstanding student for any degree that they offer. And one of the things that's unique about this college is I was able to learn about the different degrees that the different departments offer. And not all colleges, not all departments offer all degrees. So you're going to see that some of the degrees and some of the awards vary. But basically, the department was given wide latitude in who they chose, but they were asked to choose one student who met the criteria that the awards committee came up with. So for the associates and the bachelor's degrees, students had to have at least a 3.0 GPA. For the master's, doctoral, and education specialists, students had to have at least a 3.5 GPA. And then in addition, all the nominees had to have some sort of community or university service component. And the committee decided that both the GPA and the community service component would be weighted equally, that neither one would be weighted more than the other. For the Faculty Excellence Awards, the criteria is actually decided by the university, and it's posted on their website. But on the website, it says that the goal is to, quote, recognize, encourage, and reward, end quote, excellence in teaching, research, and public service. And faculty had to have been at UALR for at least 5 years, and then submit a packet to the committee that was no more than 16 pages long. And I will tell you that the application process for the Faculty Excellence Awards is so arduous that even though people are nominated, they actually choose not to apply. So those that apply, following their nomination, really should be given a lot of credit. And then what happens is our 3 college winners are submitted to the university level where they're reviewed by an external panel. The Trojan Excellence Award is actually kind of a new award, I think, to this college and to most other colleges. And the criteria for that was simply to recognize a staff person who, quote, has gone above and beyond their normal job duties. And the dean's going to be telling you a little bit more about that. And then the committee, what we did is we actually created this process by which we put all this stuff online and we rank ordered all the nominees and rank ordered them from most deserving to least deserving. And the cool thing about, I think, my experience and the other committee members' experiences, we got to read all these nomination packets. And I'll tell you, my heart, you know, you see those cartoons and you got there's a cartoon character and his heart just kind of thumps like that. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember who it is. That's what my heart feels as I was felt as I was reading those packets. It's like just such tremendous pride and joy in the faculty and the staff and the students. Finally, at the end of your program, we asked each department to recognize up to 3 individuals, agencies, or programs outside their department for their contributions to their department or their field of practice. And they'll be telling you more about those individuals and agencies as we go along. Okay, student awards, what we all have been waiting for. Excuse me. Before moving on to this, one of the nomination letters for our students, one of our award winners said, quote, the student exemplifies what we should all want graduates of UALR, the College of Education and Health Professions, and our respective programs to be exceptional students who are strong community citizens, end quote. And I think after having had a chance to meet all of our winners and read all their packets, that all 5 of our winners truly exemplify that. They're exceptional students and they're exceptional community citizens. So if I can have Melissa Odom. We'll move this a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Melissa. Make her stand here. Feel a little awkward as we say wonderful things about her. So she's being recognized as the Outstanding Associate's Degree student. She's in the Department of Nursing. Her GPA is a 3.81, and she will soon, and help me out here, she'll soon be inducted into Alpha Delta Nu Society, which is an honor society for nursing students. And in this capacity, she served as the president of this year's inductees and designed the service project for Easter seals. I'm spot on with this, right? And you've actually been collecting money, if I understand, basically to buy toys for Easter seals. And in her nomination letter, she was described as an excellent student in both the classroom and the clinical setting who gets very high ratings from all of her professors. So. And before I forget, one of the things we forgot to mention is for all the award winners, you may have noticed that we're actually not taking pictures here. Our wonderful photographers told us that the pictures kind of get whited out. So all the award winners if you go out the door and you make a sharp right, you'll see some photography equipment set up. So if you will pause, and then you'll have your picture taken with whoever presented the award. Just don't run out, and then you'll have your picture moment. Okay. Oh, and I'm supposed to be clicking, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay, Sydney. So in the end, gosh. So in the interest of disclosure, I'm going to be very transparent about the fact that I've had Sydney for 3 classes. I've known her for 2.5 years. I'm her faculty advisor. Being up here is...
And she's still good.
Yeah. Well, that's why she is good. And just, I'm very fond of Sydney. I'm kind of a little bit nervous here. I'm just, my heart is just bursting here. So that said, if I had to describe Sydney in 3 words, here's the words that come to mind. Smart, generous, and humble. And as soon as I realized that she was the award winner, and keep in mind I was only one of the committee votes, not all of them, I knew exactly what I was going to say. Smart. Sydney is poised to graduate with a 4.0 GPA. Just extraordinary. And she is the rare student who's taken all of her classes at UALR. Very impressive. Generous. Her nomination letter references over 500 hours of volunteer work, largely with survivors of human trafficking and tutoring international students to learn English. In addition, while a student at UALR, she traveled to Thailand to work with survivors of human trafficking. So just very generous with her time and her talents. And then finally, humble. And here's where it gets interesting. I had no idea Sydney had done all this. In our conversation, she doesn't talk about this. She doesn't brag about it. That's not who she is. And so as a consequence of that, when it became apparent that we were going to acknowledge her, I also knew that she would not tell some of her classmates that she's very close to. So we kind of flirted with her privacy rights. Happily so, I might add. And kind of found a very meaningless excuse to ask her into my office with her classmates and then let her know in her class and her classmates that she was receiving this award. And then I went one step further and I invited another friend of hers who's a year behind her in the program to share in this moment with her. So again, I'm just delighted. Okay, April Blackburn. April has a GPA of 3.88. Oh, and I'm sorry, April is in the Gifted and Talented Education Program and Educational Leadership. So her GPA is 3.88. According to her nomination letter, she consistently exceeds the requirements for her assignments and was nominated actually for a separate award for educators in her field. Her service work consists of work in her community, and help me out with pronunciation. I meant to ask you earlier. How do I say Bigelow? Bigelow, Arkansas, where she tutors children at no charge, and in doing so helps fill a great need for low-income families with few other resources. Beyond this, though, she's a runner.
Not that good.
Yeah, she's a runner who enjoys running in charity races. And here's some of the races that she's run in. And I loved reading this. Here's my favorite. The Zombie Run for court-appointed special advocates, the Grace Race in Perry County for cancer survivors, Freezing for a Reason for Arkansas Children's Hospital, and Run or Die, DYE, for Ronald McDonald House, and then finally, Race for the Cure. And I will say, when I emailed all the award winners for the student awards, I basically said, is there anything else you want me to add in addition to your nomination letter? And April was just so joyous about receiving this award that she sent me not one, but 2 emails expressing her gratitude to a variety of people. So she asked that I basically say that she wanted to give thanks to her family, especially her grandmother, who I had the opportunity to meet, and who is the inspiration for April becoming a teacher. And that, I have to tell you, that's one of, where's your grandmother? Yes. Wait a minute. Yes. And she also wanted us to acknowledge the professors at UALR who had supported her, particularly Dr. Ann Robinson, who was her nominator, who interestingly is also a committee member, but is actually at a conference and was not able to attend. So in reading the emails from April that we exchanged, I thought, oh my gosh, how lucky are these students to have a teacher who is so grateful and so filled with such joy when she walks into the classroom with them. So again, congratulations. Okay, outstanding doctoral student, Kathy Collins. Hi, congratulations. Kathy currently has a doctoral GPA of 3.9. Help me out with the title here, it's a long one. Her dissertation is entitled "The Intersection Between Cultural Intelligence and Targeted Achievement Gap Groups, Understanding Factors Affecting Latino Student Achievement in Arkansas School Districts." Did I get it right? All right. And her nominator basically said her dissertation is, quote, "one of the highest quality studies in my tenure at UALR." And he actually wrote a lot more than that, but spoke volumes about her dissertation. She has extensive community service, including serving on the Ross Foundation Grant Committee at Dawson Cooperative, a review program committee for K-6 licensure, a variety of university level committees, something called Arms Around Arkadelphia, which has nothing to do with guns, but is a program whereby teams from local churches do home improvement for people who can't do the home improvement for themselves. And then just an extraordinary list of service to her church and community. So again, congratulations. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Wait, no. We're not there yet. We got one more. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. And then finally, Tamara Gatewood Williams. And Tamara's she's receiving the outstanding, as you can see, the outstanding education specialist, and she's in teacher education. Congratulations. Thank you. Her GPA is 3.84. She currently works as a reading specialist for the Little Rock School District and is considered by many to be a literacy expert as well as an expert in teaching struggling readers, something that we need. We need better readers in the state of Arkansas, so kudos to you. As with our other nominees, she has an extensive list of community service. And truly, I was reading her nomination letter and I was like, oh my gosh, when does this woman sleep? She is doing so much. I was almost tired after reading it. So I'm literally just skimming the surface with some of the things I pulled out. She is a member of the National Association of University Women, where among other things, she meets monthly with girls to engage them in STEM activities. She is also involved in a variety of activities to increase parents' involvement in their children's education. She does a lot of facilitating of professional development opportunities for her colleagues. And then she serves as a facilitator for the Parent-Teacher Association. Anything I left out that is notable? I mean, the list is impressive, and I think I got the highlights. So again, congratulations. Thank you.
This is a surprise award, and unfortunately, the person that we're giving it to is at a conference. But we are videoing this, and we are going to put it on YouTube. Not me, but someone who's very technologically enhanced. But I'm going to hold it up because we're hoping that Kendra Lowry watch this, and I'm going to try to make sure that she sees her plaque. But one thing that I had the opportunity to do, this is like a 3 a.m. kind of idea, is to do a Dean's Award, in which I'm able to recognize somebody fabulous. And turns out that we hired some very wonderful new faculty members this year in our college. But I am awarding this award to Dr. Kendra Lowry with the Department of Educational Leadership. She has come in hitting the ground running. Those of you who are educators in the audience can appreciate the fact that she picked up a course load. She had accreditation and SPA reports due, something dear to everyone's heart in education. And she is now out there partnering with the Little Rock School District on several key initiatives that we hope will make a difference in our state. She is also looking at redefining our program to have more of an urban focus. And so she has just been a wonderful addition to our faculty. And with this award comes a $1,000 faculty development stipend for her to use to further her knowledge base. But Kendra, we love you. We wish you were here. Christy Kidd. Oops, I'm supposed to be multitasking. Oh, wait, I'm going to Nita first. Nita Copeland. As Dr. Chris.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
That's okay. We'll do this and we'll go back. We're very, no, come here. As Dr. Chris noted earlier, we selected in our college 3 of our colleagues who excel in teaching, research, and service. And Nita and I have probably known each other since 1923 because she was with me in the previous College of Science, but she is a faculty member in the Department of Health and Human Performance. And Nita was selected because she excels in online education and has really been a leader in the field in her department, has mentored other new faculty members. Quality Matters is kind of the gold star of online course development, and she has gotten that on probably every single course that she's developed, so she's just done a phenomenal job. She was also the 2011 and 2014 Quality Matters Certification Award winner, the 2012 and 2014 Blackboard Catalyst Award winner. She was also the 2001 College of Science Teaching Excellence Award winner, so she just transferred that over into our new fabulous college. And I wanted to end with a quote that someone provided for her. She has infectious motivation among others who care about their quality of teaching and enables an online environment that is effective and reflects quality. So we're very pleased to honor her. Janae Snyder. Janae is our winner in the area of service, and it's really hard to even capture all the things that she's done out in the community. She is also a faculty member in the Department of Health and Human Performance, but she initiated the Growing Healthy Community Service Project in 2011, and that has continued. And her students, under her guidance, have done community wellness fairs, health cooking classes, grocery store tours. I probably need to do that with you. Farmers market, and assistance in delivering and setting up raised bed gardens for the University District residents. So she has a very long history of health-related service. She initially was involved with the PALS program, which was the prescription assistance line for seniors that aided senior adults on limited income to receive free or reduced prescriptions. She's very active with the American Heart Association, has served on their Health Equity and Advocacy Committee, and she's the state representative for the Southwest Affiliates Health Equity Committee. So she is an exemplar for what our faculty do in fulfilling the mission of this university out in our community. Thank you. Bethlyn Gentry. Dr. Gentry is our award winner in the area of research, and she's from the Department of Audiology and Speech Pathology. Guess how many years she's been at UALR? 37 years at UALR. And UALR is very fortunate to have her. She's authored over 40 publications, presented at over 120 papers at the state, national, and international conferences. She serves as a peer reviewer for numerous journals and publications. Her research topics have included sickle cell disease and the potential link of that with strokes and hearing loss, as well as multicultural issues related to communication disorders and educating deaf adolescents. So please join us in congratulating her. I have to backtrack because this is where I messed up. We decided that we needed to recognize a fabulous staff person because those of us who are here and work here on a daily basis know that we would not exist without our fabulous staff people who undergird what we do on a daily basis. And so we decided that we would do the same award. It's a $1,000 development stipend for them. By the way, the Faculty Excellence Award winners get a $2,000 faculty development stipend. And so our award winner this year is Krista Smith. No, excuse me. Did I mess this all up? Okay. She's the project manager in the Jody Mahoney Center for Gifted and Talented, and Ann Robinson nominated her and said that she always goes above and beyond, that she's here late hours, works constantly, always looking out for the students, always looking out for the parents, has worked with the program in the Summer Laureate program, where parents, kind of constantly need much hand-holding and help and that kind of thing. And she's done this. She was referred to as an ambassador. But I thought it was particularly telling because one of the things that we're really working here very hard on at UALR is really extending ourselves out to really meet the needs of our students wherever they are, not just their academic needs, but their other needs. And so this young lady, in addition to helping to do all kinds of recruiting around the state, maintaining the center websites, working on other duties as assigned, which I love that category myself, actually worked with an international student to try to locate a driving school so that they could get their license to be able to drive to campus. She helped another find a clinic for their sick child. And this is the kind of staff person that we are fortunate to have at UALR because they touch our students' lives in such a positive way. So we want to congratulate her. Okay, but this is maybe the most fabulous gift ever because, parking at UALR is just really a snap, right? Well, my nice friends in public safety agreed to give her her very own parking space for a year. So, she doesn't keep the sign because we are going to post it on a reserved parking spot. But people will die for this. So this is even better than the stipend. Yep, we're good. Now we're going to have the different departments recognize their friends, and we're going to ask each chair to then turn around and introduce the next chair. Standing in for Dr. Nanette Nicholson is Dr. Bethelyn Gentry from the Department of Audiology and Speech Pathology.
Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to introduce two important people to our department that have been very good friends to our department. The first individual is Mr. Jack M. East. This individual is a creative, fun-loving, and artistic sort of guy, and he's a great friend of the department. When he is not golfing, visiting with golf buddies, or at the Little Red River, he is painting, welding, or creating original works of art. We tease him that he is an industrial artist, using zip ties for poppy stems and pipe cleaners to represent stick figures. If you have not had the opportunity to see his colorful art, come over and take a tour of the UALR Speech and Hearing Clinic. Jack has allowed us to exhibit 48 pieces of his creative art. Students and faculty have mentioned how the paintings brighten the halls. We are so grateful and proud to present this Friend of the Department Award to Jack M. East. Our second Friend of the Department is Dr. Kelly Linton. The Department of Audiology and Speech Pathology is pleased to honor Dr. Kelly Linton as a Friend of the Department for her tireless efforts and contributions as a clinical preceptor, for stepping in as an adjunct instructor when asked, and for her donation of a hearing booth for one of our clinical outreach programs. Dr. Linton is the owner of the Center for Hearing and Center for Industrial Audiometry, and she is a major in the United States Army Medical Corps. We are so proud to call her our colleague and friend of the department, Dr. Linton. Our next presenter will be Dr. Bill Jacobson.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone. The Department of Counseling, Adult and Rehabilitation Education would like to honor 3 different agencies and communities who have been instrumental in guiding and helping our programs improve and expand over the years. The first we're honoring is World Services for the Blind. And is there a representative here? Okay. World Services for the Blind was instrumental in getting the rehabilitation of the blind program established at UALR. And over the years, we have been able to train their instructors to become master's degree trained individuals, as well as they have provided housing for our orientation mobility students in the summers so that they can come from all over the world to get their training. The World Services for the Blind is the largest rehabilitation center in the United States and perhaps throughout the world. Very few understand that in the state, and only now are beginning to recognize how important it is to have that kind of a partnership. So I'd like to recognize World Services for the Blind. I will make sure they get their plaque. The Arkansas Rehabilitation Services, we have a representative from that organization. Okay, we had a personal, Stacy, were you going to come up? Stacy McKissick is on our staff in the department in the Rehabilitation Counseling Program, and the Arkansas Rehabilitation Services Administration has been instrumental in providing cooperation and support through various avenues for us. They have provided internship placement sites. They have provided advisory board support to the Rehabilitation Counseling Program, which is recently considered one of the top 25 rehabilitation counseling programs in the country. So we're very proud of the program, and that was through U.S. News and World Report. So we're very excited for that recognition. And the Arkansas Rehabilitation Services plays an integral role in the quality of that program. So thank you very much. Our next friend of the department is the Arkansas deafblind community, and we have one of the members of the deafblind community, being escorted by Jamie Hollingsworth, a faculty member in our department. Again, the Arkansas deafblind community has provided all sorts of support and experiences for the students in the interpreter education program and the ASL, American Sign Language program as well. And they have a deafblind camp that rotates around the region, and many of the interpreting students will come down and do some basic interpreting with the deafblind folks in that area. So thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce my esteemed colleague and the person I admire the most on this campus, to introduce the Friends of the Department of Health, Human Performance, and Sport Management, Dr. Bill Jacobson. I'm also the interim chair of that. The first awardee that we would like to recognize is a member of the STAR staff, Jeff Nash. Jeff Nash. Congratulations. Actually, we should say that Jeff Nash is a friend of the entire university. But we wanted to recognize him for the special help that he has given for the Quality Matters initiatives that the Health and Human Performance faculty have been developing this year, well, over the years, and especially we've taken on a much larger role this year. And Jeff has been very helpful in facilitating this process, so we appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff. And our next honoree is Deshantria Wallace, sorry. Dee Dee is how I know her the best. But Dee Dee is now the educational counseling advisor for one of them for our college. And Dee Dee has been instrumental in getting proper and systematic advisement for undergraduates and eventually for graduate students within the college, not only in the Health and Human Performance department, which really was the forerunner for the advising process for the college, but for other departments as well. And so we appreciate your support. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce the second most honored and respected person that I know in the college, Dr. Greg Barrett, who will be speaking on behalf of educational leadership.
Thank you, Bill. Our first honoree is Dr. Jan Austin. If she would come down, and if Jeff Adams would come down with her, please. I'm going to start while you're, because I don't know when to stop writing, so I'm going to start while you're coming down. Jan L. Austin, EDD, has devoted her professional career to higher education administration with almost 35 years in service to UALR. She's also a product of UALR, having earned her bachelor's degree in gerontology, cum laude, her master's degree in technical and expository writing, and her doctorate in higher education administration at our institution. She fulfills the responsibility of her current position as Assistant Vice Chancellor of Student Life and Leadership Development with great vigor, enthusiasm, and effectiveness. Dr. Austin has demonstrated success working with students, having worked her way through the ranks from Assistant Manager of the Donahue Student Union to her current position as Assistant Vice Chancellor. In each of her increasingly responsible positions, Jan has demonstrated her commitment to the growth and development of student leaders. When alumni who served as student leaders return to the UALR campus for visits, they often seek out Dr. Austin to express their appreciation for the role she has played in developing their leadership abilities. Jan has demonstrated a commitment to diversity and success working with diverse constituents in leadership roles to support an inclusive campus at UALR. As Assistant Dean of Students, Dr. Austin served as a women's advocate to develop programming to address women's needs on campus. As Director of Campus Life, Jan oversaw student advocacy venues focusing on minorities, women, and adults, primarily non-traditional students. She also directed cultural awareness and affiliation opportunities for current and emerging communities. Professionally, Dr. Austin has been an immensely effective ambassador for UALR, presenting her research and practitioner-related scholarship at local, state, regional, and national conferences. Her scholarship has been published in the Referee Journal College and University and in a Josie Bass monograph entitled The Campus Climate, New Directions for Institutional Research. From a professional development standpoint, Jan attended the Institute for Educational Management of the Harvard Institutes for Higher Education at Harvard Graduate School of Education during the summer of 2013. She also served as a faculty member for the Arkansas College Personnel Association for the NASPA Region 4 New Professionals Institute in the fall of 2013. Dr. Austin not only has a vast knowledge of student development theory and leadership, she also teaches it every summer in the higher education doctoral program from which she graduated. In addition to leadership theories in higher education, Jan has also taught Introduction to Student Affairs and Student Development Theory for combined classes of master's and doctoral students. Beyond her teaching, Jan applies student development and leadership theories in the application of her job every single day. Personally, I worked directly with Jan on the Campus Campaign Steering Committee, on the Comprehensive Qualifying Examination in the Higher Education Doctoral Program, on a number of dissertation committees, and as a stakeholder in the higher education program. I find Dr. Austin to be an excellent colleague who exhibits all the collegial, collaborative, communicative, and experiential and leadership characteristics that make an excellent colleague. Jan's passion for working with students is perhaps best exemplified by an anecdote from my own experience with her in the process of chairing the dissertation committee of Jeffrey Adams. Dr. Austin serves on Jeff's dissertation committee, and during the proposal defense, the two exchanged remembrances of the time when Jeff served as a student guide during orientation while he was an undergraduate. As a first-generation student, he thanked Jan immensely for giving him the opportunity to grow and develop his leadership abilities while he was an undergraduate at UALR. Mr. Adams has gone on to serve as a clinical instructor of audiology and speech pathology at the University of Central Arkansas. This spring, Jeff will formally graduate from UALR's higher education doctoral program. This is just one example. Yeah, that's right. This is just one example of her commitment to students. In her role as Assistant Vice Chancellor of Student Life and Leadership Development, Jan has made good use of her opportunity to influence the lives of many other students through community engagement and service learning activities. It is with great honor and pleasure that I ask Jeff Adams to present the Friend of the Department of Educational Leadership Award to Dr. Jan L. Dr. Christine Dietz. Mary Christine Dietz, EDD, is the specialist for secondary gifted and talented programs for the Little Rock School District. She was recognized as the Doctoral Student Award by the National Association of Gifted Children, NAGC, and received the A. Harry Passow Classroom Teacher Award, Masters and Specialist Graduate Student Award from NAGC. She is also the recipient of the NAGC Curriculum Award from the NAGC Curriculum Network. Lots of NAGCs in there. She is the past president of NAGC's Middle Grades Network and currently serves as the network's Convention Program Chair. Mary Christine has taught in public schools for over 26 years and has worked exclusively with diverse populations of high-ability students for the past 19 years. In addition, Mary Christine is an adjunct professor in the Department of Educational Leadership and the Jody Mahoney Center for Gifted Education at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. She coordinates the National Board Candidate Support Site at the university, known for developing innovative and engaging instruction for high-ability learners. Mary Christine is a consultant for district, state, and national educational organizations. I'm honored to represent the gifted and talented and the Educational Administration and Supervision faculty in presenting Dr. Dietz, the Friend of the Department Award. Dr. Gilliland, would you please come down? Tim and Brett, would you please come down with her? I'm going to go ahead and start. Dr. Diane S. Gilliland has devoted her long and very productive career in higher education to improving the profession in Arkansas, the United States, and the world. After earning her BSc in English and Speech and her MAd in English and Education from that university up on the hill, she began her professional career, okay, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, how's that? She began her professional career as a research assistant in the office of U.S. Senator John L. McClellan. Just a few years later, while serving as assistant to the chancellor of the University of Arkansas at Monticello, Diane was identified as one of the first women in the state with the skills, aptitudes, and abilities to achieve great things in Arkansas higher education. After taking a sabbatical from her administrative responsibilities in higher education to earn her PhD in higher education at Southern Illinois University, Dr. Gilliland returned to Arkansas and was tapped first as the Associate Director for Finance and later as Director of the Arkansas Department of Higher Education from 1986 to 1997. Like many Arkansans, Diane moved to Washington, D.C. during the first Clinton administration, where in January 1997, she became a senior fellow with the American Council on Education, where she coordinated the development and planning of a new national policy initiative in 4 areas of importance to higher education in the nation: K-16 issues, civic responsibility, finance, and governance. She also developed a plan for ACE's future organization and staffing, for a research policy analysis group to conduct the analytical work to inform higher education policy decisions in the 21st century. Between January 1998 and August 1999, Dr. Gilliland served as a senior associate for the Institute for Higher Education Policy in Washington, D.C., where she consulted with several statewide coordinating boards, national higher education organizations, and institutions of higher education on strategic planning and agenda building. From 1998 to 2001, Dr. Gilliland entered the international arena by serving as a consultant for the Center for Higher Education Transformation in South Africa. With the country just emerging from apartheid, Diane analyzed existing funding formulae to find ways to strengthen the Black institutions, begin the integration of the white institutions, and meet the national goals for higher education in South Africa through her consulting work with the Pilot Project Consortium on Higher Education, South Africa, between 1999 and 2001. She also served as a financial consultant to the Ministry of Higher Education, Mexico, from 1999 to 2000. Returning to the Midwest, Dr. Gilliland served as Deputy Director of Academic Affairs for the Illinois Board of Higher Education between August 1999 and August 2003. As Chief Academic Affairs Officer for the Illinois Higher Education Governing Board, Diane was responsible for 187 public and independent institutions, approximately 800,000 students, and a total expenditure budget of $13 billion. Coming home to Arkansas as a visiting professor, Diane immediately began teaching in UALR's higher education graduate programs. After a year, she was hired as an associate professor of higher education in 2004, later earning tenure. She was soon teaching many of the major courses, including governance and policymaking, higher education finance, legal aspects of higher education, and academic policy issues seminar. but her real expertise was in supervising the dissertations of our top students, 2 of whom are here with us today. Tim Atkinson has gone on to be president of the Arkansas Science and Technology Authority, and Brett Powell is the recently appointed director of the Arkansas Department of Higher Education. Her mentorship played key roles in the professional development of these graduates. Diane retired from UALR in 2010. She served on the board of directors on SLM Corporation, better known as Sallie Mae, for 20 years, from April 1994 to April of 2014. And on April 30th, 2014, Sallie Mae spun off its loan servicing operation and most of its loan portfolio into a separate publicly traded entity called Navient Corporation. Navient is the largest servicer of federal student loans and also acts as a collector on behalf of the U.S. Department of Education. Dr. Gilliland was an original member of the Navient Board of Directors and continues to serve in that capacity. Her generosity is not limited to her teaching, research, and mentoring. Diane has also conveyed a major gift to the higher education program that is intended to support student research and conference travel. We are grateful to Diane Gilliland for her continuing support of our students by serving on their dissertation committees and through her guest lecturing in many of the higher education classes. It is my distinct honor and privilege to ask Tim Atkinson and Brett Powell to present the Friend of the Department Award to my friend and colleague, Diane Gilliland. Well, that's it. Is that enough? Yeah, that's it. All right. Our next presenter will be Preston Molesby. I'll get them later.
Good afternoon. The Department of Nursing this year has 3 awards that we will give to friends of our department. Every year, the discussion among faculty is who do we recognize, because there are so many people out there, graduates of our program, people within the area facilities that are friends of our department. And if we recognized every one of them every year, we'd spend several hours here recognizing everything they do and handing out awards. So fortunately, we've limited it to 3, one of which is not here. I'd like to recognize Debbie Burrow. She is the Chief Nursing Officer at Saline Memorial Hospital in Benton. Prior to her role as the Chief Nursing Officer, she was the Director of Education. Anytime our program needed anything within the facility, Debbie provided it. If we were short clinical spots, she made sure we got it. If we were having an issue with students being overcrowded on the floor, our program was given preference. And so Debbie is an extremely big advocate for our program, and we thank her for that. Our other 2 recipients, I'm very pleased to be able to stand up here and give their awards this year because they are graduates from our program. Wendy Lynn. Wendy will start making her way down. Wendy is a graduate from our associate degree program in 2011. She is currently a registered nurse on 4 East at CHI St. Vincent's. She's an outstanding nurse. She helps our students daily. She sets an outstanding professional example. And the interesting thing that I found out as we were coming in is Wendy schedules herself to work on the day that the students are there. And if you're not overly familiar with nurses, sometimes nurses will know students are coming and they schedule other days. And Wendy is the exact opposite of that. She knows when our students are going to be in clinical and she schedules to work that day so she can help those students. And so for that, we thank Wendy as a friend of our department. Our last friend of the department is Rashonda Hunter. Rashonda is also a graduate of our program. She graduated from our program in 2011 from our associate degree program. and she graduated from our RN to BSN program in 2013. And she's already asking when our master's program will be in place so she can come back here for that. So that is a good thing. Again, Rashonda is also an outstanding nurse, sets an outstanding example as a professional nurse, especially at the VA. She looks for students after clinical students are always going to the instructors, telling them what a great experience they had with her. Her desire is to come back to education at some point, earn a master's in nursing education, and I'm trying to get her to come work for us in the fall as an adjunct faculty member. So Rashonda Hunter, friend of the Department of Nursing. And now I will introduce Dr. Howard Turney to introduce Friends of the School of Social Work.
The School of Social Work is highly dependent on the community, and we're very much engaged in our relationships with agencies and hospitals and centers around the state. And we had a very challenging time limiting it to 3 folks. So we have 3 awards we'd like to give. The first is to the Innovative Agency of the Year. And we're joined by Beth White and Shanti Pepper, who are founders of SAGE. And this is a center for trauma and wellness, and it provides a holistic approach to mental health treatment for individuals who've experienced trauma. And this agency only began in 2014, and it started out with 5 providers. It's expanded to 8, and they have massage therapists, chiropractors, registered yoga teachers. So it's a very eclectic approach to mental health care. And most of their treatments are evidence-based, which incorporates things like mindfulness. And all the people that receive services there have these services available to them. And this is a group that we hope that our students in the future will be able to engage with in learning activities and internships. So thank you. The School of Social Work is proud to recognize Bridgeway Hospital as our Community Partner of the Year. I can't say enough about the years that we have been engaged with Bridgeway. They have taken students over the years, sometimes students that other agencies were not willing to take. They have providing a learning environment that's been top-notch. They're committed to serving our students as a premier learning institution. And they truly value the role of social work in their integrated approach to mental health care. And so Jason Miller, the CEO, and Megan Holt are here to receive this award on behalf of Bridgeway, and thank you so much. And we also have a friend of the School of Social Work who is Paula Stone. And Paula is a graduate of our program and a brilliant clinician, and she serves as a role model of community practice. And currently, she is the assistant director of the DHS Division of Behavioral Health Services. And I've been here a long time, and I remember when Paula went through our program many years ago, even though she looks very young. And she has had a great career and engaged with the school in so many different ways, and we're pleased that she's here today to receive this award. And our next presenter is Dr. Jennifer Hume, who represents teacher education.
I know you're applauding because I'm the last one. I kind of feel like that parent at a high school graduation whose child whose name ends in W and Z, I certainly appreciate you all hanging out for the teas in this particular, in this celebration. One thing that I have heard over and over again from each and every person who has come up here to present to their friends has two things about it. The first theme has been love. You love the people with whom you have partnered here in the College of Education and Health profession. The second thing is partnership. That is critically important to everything that we all do in the College of Education and Health professions. And for teacher education, one of the areas that we have the most difficulty in with over 200 students every year is placement. One thing we do not have to worry about in teacher education for early childhood is placement. Because at the beginning of every year, Jody just says, how many? She loves our students. She loves the students at her school. She loves their parents. And she loves trying to ensure that every child gets off to the best start for their lives in their education, particularly in literacy. I know that to be a fact. I've known Jody for over years. You notice we all stumble on that one. And the one thing that I have always noted about Jody is that whenever we have needed her and her staff, they have come to our aid and have been a beautifully wonderful, loving partner to teacher education for all these many years. So thank you, Jody.
Melissa Reeves, I'm sorry you weren't listed on the committee. Will you stand, please? There you go. That's our last committee member. I need to remind everybody about the pictures out here in the hall so that we can get some great pictures. And I just want to end by thanking you. I want to thank the students for choosing UALR and for being really what we hope all of our students will be, because you really represent the best in our educational experience. I want to thank the faculty for the role that they've had in these students' success, your family and friends, because we all know that if it weren't for sometimes when they picked you up and said, yes, you can, you may not be here today. To the staff who continues to do a wonderful job, to our administration, our advisory board, our friends in the community, because without you, we would not be where we are today. And with you, we can have a wonderful future. So thank you. Go have more refreshments. Remember the pictures, and we hope to see many of you back next year. Thank you again. I didn't know how hard we just kind of stopped.
Yeah, let me go ahead and stop the stream.